Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have for you a fun little build. It is a horse speedometer. Alright, let's take a look at how this works. So first of all, I've stripped away all unnecessary blocks. So we have the bare bones of how this device works. So you have a start line, and depending on how far your horse travels in the 5-second interval will determine what value shows up on the display in blocks per second. So the start line powers a redstone line through a set delay down into a rising edge detector that signals all the way to the opposite end, which then updates piston butt line. This piston butt line is special because you can change how far it updates. So with none of the trip wires activated, I can activate the entire line, or I can extend one of the pistons. So you'll see that this piston is extended by activating the tripwire, and you'll see that only these few pistons fire. That signal is then taken and encoded into a single slice, which gives a binary output. That binary output is actually BCD, which I can then convert into signal strength and run it into a 7-segment display, this one being made by Mazuma Gaming. Let's take a closer look at how the device actually works. So, as you can see, I have this lever that either extends or retracts that piston. So with nothing extended, everything updates, and all these pistons get a 4 game tick pulse, which is not long enough for this observer to power this piston. Let's take a look again. As you can see, the pistons didn't fire. However, if I were to extend this piston, you'll see that this butt activates, but the other two don't. And now we can see the result. You'll see that this observer remains in place. This observer still receives a 4 game tick pulse, while this observer receives a 2 game tick pulse. So the sticky piston spits the observer down, and that signal is then used to reset the observer and also encode into the slice. Alright, so you get your binary output, which then feeds into this little device, which converts that binary output into a signal strength. So as you can see, you have components in a certain pattern, and when I update this leftmost line, everything resets into the up position, and then by pulsing some of the pistons, I can actually change the signal strength output. So because the precision of my speedometer is only 0.2 blocks, for the first digit I don't need a 1's place, but I have a 2, 4, and 8. And then for the second digit, I have 1, 2, 4, 8. And for the last digit, it's either going to be a 0 or a 1, because the length of the runway is not too long. So the last digit is just a on or off signal. Over here, again, this is the pattern. So the first one is 2, 4, and 8. 1, 2, 4, 8, and then just 1. And we can take a look at this encoded pattern. With all the lessons I learned building the blocks per second display, I figured I would make a simple one for people who don't mind having something that's functional but not as nice. So this one, instead of using trim wires, you have pressure plates, and instead of a 7-segment display, you have a set number of redstone lamps that turn on. So let's take this for a test run. Instead of a start line, we have a starting pressure plate. Let's go. As you can see, certain number of lamps will turn on, so it ends on a 10. However, if it doesn't end on a 10, but 1 block before or after, it's either plus 0.2 blocks per second or subtract 0.2 blocks per second, and however many blocks extra you want to go. Because this version is so simple, I'll just do a very quick run through of how to make this. So first of all, from your first pressure plate, this block over here, all the way to before the next pressure plate is 23 blocks, followed by 50 blocks of runway and pressure plates. Obviously, you want some blocks surrounding, and then you want redstone lamps over here, and you can decide to put the black and yellow concrete if you want. And then you have your signs. Underneath, from the starting pressure plate, you just have a redstone line, followed by 11 redstone repeaters on full delay. It feeds into, again, a rising edge detector, which then powers this rail line, which resets all the redstone blocks over here, going all the way down. An observer over here, which powers this rail line, which then updates the butt. The butt is a simple, you have just a normal piston, a block, a redstone block, no block, observer powering up into this block, which then updates this node block, which then updates this piston to reset it. And through this block, you also set this piston, which is again a normal piston, which either pushes the redstone block left or right. That's about it. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to be notified. And last but not least, stay zen. Bye.